No Nyaya Shastra today?
I thought I will tell a small history of Nyaya Shastra, which I think Padmanabhan didn't cover it. So some interesting anecdotes will after the.
Okay.
Okay, we are live right now. Let me start the presentation.
शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां 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 शारदे शङ्कर रक्ष मां शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां शारदे
I think we'll go ahead and get started. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sharada Sharadambhoja Vadana Vadana Vadanambuje Sarvada Sarvadasmakam Sannidhim Kriyat Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Mande Guru Paramparam. Om Bharati Karuna Patram Bharati Padabhushanam Bharati Padamarudam Bharati Tirthamashraye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaraham Vivehinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidushekara Bharatim. Om Sadguru Charanandabhyam Namaha. Om Jabuji, please.
Namaskaram to everybody. Let me start a small prayer. Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnam Shashivarnam Sadarbhujam Prasannavadaram Dhyayet Vignopashante Vakradunda Mahakaya Kodichirisamapprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshwarvadam Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Gurum Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purana Namalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Harigi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So we will continue with the Manusmriti slokas. We covered up to sloka number 120 in our last session, second chapter. We are in the second chapter of the Manusmriti. We are in this. So I'll just start out with the last sloka, what we discussed, and then we will continue with the rest. We try to cover about 20-25 slokas every session. And Manu has been talking in this chapter about all the preliminary samskaras for all the dvijas, which is the the Upanayana, the Vedic, the learning of the Vedas, the Adhyapanam, and then also the basic rules. And in this session, you will be talking a lot about namaskara, how important namaskara is. People don't even consider the value of namaskara these days. It is said that there is a sloka composed by Swami Vedanta Dixon called Anjali Vaibhavam. In Anjali Vaibhavam, he says how great just keeping like this in front of the Lord without even telling anything, how valuable it is. It has the power. Same way doing namaskara has greatness. Even in Kanakadara Stotram, Nadi Shankara says, when he prays to Lord Goddess Lakshmi, he says, all I need from you, he says about all Sampatkarani, Sakalendriya, Nandanani, Samrajadhani, he says, you can get all pleasures, you can get all Samrajas and kingdoms from Goddess Lakshmi, but I want only one thing, Namaskaram. I should be able to do Namaskaram to Goddess Lakshmi every day, because the Namaskaram can give everything else. So you will see a lot of in this session. I was trying to talk about the importance of japa in the last session, where Krishna gives the importance of japa. And in this section, there will be a lot of slokas related to namaskara and how Manu gives the importance of namaskara. And I was just trying to tell from Adi Shankara itself how Adi Shankara even says to Goddess Lakshmi, I know you can give all these things, but just give me the boon of doing namaskara to you. So we'll talk about this as we go along. Sloka number 120. Urdhvam prana hutkaramanti. Urdhvam prana hutkramanti. Yunaha stavira ayati. Pratyuttana abhivadabhyam punastan pratipadyate. Urdhvam prana hutkramanti. Yunaha stavira ayati. Pratyuttana abhivadabhyam punastan pratipadyate. What Manu says is, when somebody senior comes in front of you, it seems automatically our pranas will try to exit our body. Exit, E-X-I-T. And so as soon as you see, like a senior means real senior in the sense one who is very learned, one who is full of achara, anushtana, good character, that means that's a real senior, because he will actually give a definition of senior as we go along. When you come across this, you immediately stand up, because if you don't stand up, it seems the prana itself will exit your body. So moment you stand up, to welcome them by doing Abhivade, the prana will stay inside your body. So it seems that is the power of the person opposite to you. If a great person comes in front of you, if you don't stand up to welcome them and do prostration to them, the prana will try to exit. But if you stand up and do Abhivade, the prana will sit. Hyut kramanti means the prana is trying to exit. Urdhvam prana hyut kramanti means the prana is trying to exit as soon as it sees a senior person in front of him. So now go sloka number 121. Abhivadana Shilasya Nityam Vritto Upasevinaham Chatvari Sampravardante Chatvari Tasya Vardante. Okay, there is Chatvari Tasya Vardante Ayur Vidya Yasho Balam. Abhivadana Shilasya Nityam Vritto Upasevinaham Chatvari Tasya Vardante Ayur Vidya Yasho Balam. Abhivadana Shilasya means for one who is practicing or who has the character of doing namaskara. Or when you do namaskara, you say Abhivade, you know, I belong to so and so Gotra, so and so Sutra. You tell your name. So when you do namaskara, you follow it with Abhivade. When somebody who is doing this regularly, the Abhivadana Shilasya means one who is very rigorously conducting it every day for seeing the senior people. Chatvari tasya vardante, 4 things will multiply for him. Vardante, we also had reached Mardanti for the Acharya. Vardante is growing or multiplying. Ayur Vidya Yasho Balam, the longevity of your life, the knowledge, the fame, your fame and your strength. So one who practices this Abhivadanam to the seniors regularly, for him 4 things will multiply: longevity of life, the knowledge, the yashas means the fame, and balam is the strength. So that is the important thing. Next sloka number 122. Abhivadat param vipro jayayam sam abhivadayan asau namaham asmiti swam nama parikirtayet. Abhivadat param vipro jayayam sam abhivadayan asau namaham asmiti swam nama parikirtayet. So what it says now is giving you the small details. When a Vipro means a Brahmana. When a Brahmana sees another senior and he does namaskara and does abhivade, he should say asau nama ahamasmiti. We always say, when you tell Jambunathan ahamasmi boho, you always end it like that. You tell your gotra, kula, everything you're supposed to tell, and end by telling I am so and so belonging to so and so kula and gotra, and then you end like that nama. So at the end only you say your name during the abhivade. So that's what he's telling, that most of us who do abhivade would be familiar with this procedure. Namadeyasya ye kechit abhivadam na janate tan prajno ahamiti bruyat striyaha sarvas tataivacha. Namadeyasya ye kechit abhivadam na janate tan prajno ahamiti bruyat striyaha sarvas tataivacha. What he says here is Namadeyasya Abhivadam na janate, one who does not know the meaning or value of Abhivade. So even if you see a senior person in front of you, but that person doesn't know what is the value of this Abhivade, for that person, you can do just say Namaskara and just tell your name. There is no need to tell the whole Kula, Gotra, everything and all. So it still says you respect the person in front of you, but who doesn't know the value or the importance of this Abhivade. I belong to so-and-so Rishis, I belong to so-and-so Gotra, I belong to so-and-so Sutra, and you tell your name, and he's telling you one who does not know the value of those things or who does not have the knowledge of those things, for him, you just do Namaskara and just tell I am so-and-so. So that is the difference he's telling. You should respect the seniors, do Namaskara and do Abhivade, but for one who is knowledgeable, you tell him the whole thing. For one who doesn't have knowledge, you just tell I am so-and-so and just end with that. Bo shabdam kirdayante swasya namno abhivadane namnam swa rupa bhavohi bo bhava rushibhihi smrutaha. Bo shabdam कीर्तयेदन्ते स्वस्य नाम्नो अभिवादने नाम्नां स्वरूपभावो हि भो भाव ऋषिभिः स्मृतः. So we always say, for example, Srinivasanam ahamasmi boho. You will end the statement with the call boho. That is the end. He says the bo shabdam is very important. He says that ending the name with the bo shabdam, because bo is actually giving more respect for the person whom you are telling, it seems. And that bo means, it means oh sir or oh great person, I am so and so, and you're introducing, because you see, according to the rishis, this bo sabdam is equal to all the great terms and all the great names. So instead of, because if you might not know the name of the opposite person, but you know it's a senior or something, so he says always use the bo sabdam to end after your name, because this bo sabdam is such a great term. This is what the rishis tell, and this is also gives respect more to the person whom you are offering the abhivade. So he said you should tell the whole details for a person who is knowledgeable. Just give the name for a person who is not knowledgeable, but always make sure you end up with the term boho. Ahamasmi boho. That's how the abhivade, when people do abhivade, it will end only like this. Like Srinivasa nama ahamasmi boho, Padmanabhan nama ahamasmi boho. That's how you should end the abhivade. Ayushman bhava saumyeti vachyo vipro abhivadane akarashchasya namno ante vachyah purva akshara plutah. Ayushman bhava saumyeti vachyo vipro abhivadane akarascha asya namno ante vachyah purva akshara plutah. What it says is, now it says, what should the other person tell? Okay, you did namaskaram, you did abhivade. What should the senior do immediately? The person whom you are doing abhivade should reciprocate. That is very important. So doing namaskara, you cannot be just very hot-headed. Oh, I am great. They did namaskara for me. Even Manu says how the person should reciprocate. It says Ayushman bhava saumyeti. But when you do namaskara to a sannyasa, which will be listed later, then sannyasi will always see only Narayana, because he says all namaskaras, Sarvadeva namaskara keshvam pradigachyati. So the sannyasis, when you do namaskara, they are supposed to say Narayana, Narayana, or Hari, Hari, something like that. So which means whatever namaskara you're doing to me is directly going to Hari or Keshava or Narayana. So that's what. But for another who is not a sannyasi, so that's, they are supposed to say Ayushman bhava saumyeti. So because I'm just telling you, because if you do a namaskara to sannyasi and he doesn't say Ayushman bhava saumyeti, you should not get offended. He should supposed to say only Narayana, Narayana for some. But the other persons who are not sannyasis should be telling Ayushman bhava saumyeti. That's what saumya means. Oh, good person. Saumya means it's addressing the person who is doing namaskara. If you are doing namaskara itself, you are a nice, humble person. So you are saying, oh, good guy, Ayushman bhava, you live a long life. That's the first blessing. The reciprocation should be given by the person on the opposite side. And it says, if the name ends with akara, for example, Srinivasa, Padmanabha, if your name ends with the A at the end, not Padmanabhan, but say Padmanabha, that person should say Ayushman bhava saumyeti Padmanabha. It should extend, it seems. If it ends in akara, if the name ends in akara, the person who is giving the blessing should extend the akara, it seems. So that is, I don't know the exact importance of that, but Manu is telling like that the reciprocation should be Ayushman bhava saumyeti. But specifically, if the person who is doing namaskara ends with the akara shabdam, that should be extended by the person who is reciprocating. That's something. There might be a detailed nuance for why it is said, but at least just be aware of that. But the important thing is, doing namaskara is important, but reciprocation is also important. Next sloka is sloka number 126. Yona Vedya Abhivadasya Vipraha Prati Abhivadanam Na Abhivadyaha Sa Vidusha Yata Shudras Tataivacha. Very important. Yona Veti Abhivadasya Vipraha Prati Abhivadanam Na Abhivadyaha Sa Vidusha Yata Shudras Tataiva Saha. Now he is scolding the person who is not giving the blessing. If you do namaskara and the person does not know to reciprocate, he should be treated like a Shudra. Which means Shudra in the sense, very ignorant or very low person. I don't want to tell this a caste word there. Basically, if a person you do namaskara and that person doesn't pratyabhivadanam, he doesn't know to reciprocate, that person should be considered as a very low person. So basically, he's saying doing namaskara is important, but the person who is on the other side should also equally reciprocate with good blessings. That is more important. And the person who is not able to reciprocate properly, treat him as a very low person. That's the importance what Manu is saying. So remember, Manu is always balanced. He doesn't only, he tells both of them should be doing that good job. Sloka number 127. Brahmanam kushalam pruchet shatrabandhu anamayam vaishyam shemam samagamya shudram arogyam evacha. Brahmanam kushalam pruchet shatrabandhum anamayam vaishyam shemam samagamya shudram arogyam evacha. So now again, this is the reciprocation. The person already told you Ayushman Bhava, live long. But after that, the person should reciprocate to the namaskara person. If he is a brahmana, you should ask, are you living comfortably, kushalam, or are you living happily? Pruchet shatrabandhu anamayam. If he is a kshatriya, anamayam means free from epidemics or disease, which is asking, is your country and you free from any epidemics and diseases? Because that is the one which will immediately destroy. Even enemies can't destroy you fast. You get a plague, you can kill people within 2 days. So basically the Kshatriya should be asked, the person should ask the Kshatriya reciprocating, is your country free from all epidemics and diseases? Vaishyam Shemam is asking, are you wealthy? Are you maintaining your wealth well for the Vaishya? And for Sudram Arogyam Evacha, because the Shudras are the one who are working labor work, they need a good health. Are you healthy? So the person who is reciprocating the namaskara, not only first blesses with long life, but he should also follow up with, are you living comfortably? Are you having free from epidemics? Are you healthy? Are you maintaining your wealth? So again, it again goes to the importance of how the person who is getting the namaskara should reciprocate. Sloka number 128. Avachyo dikshito namna yaviyan apiyo bhavet bo bhavat purvakam tvenam abhibhasheta dharmavit. Avachyo dikshito namna yaviyan apiyo bhavet bo bhavat purvakam tvenam abhibhasheta dharmavit. But the only exception he says is, if somebody who is getting a yaga diksha, he says avachyo dikshito namna, like somebody has taken a diksha for performing a big yajna, that soma yajna or havir yajna, some big yajna, that person has taken a diksha. For that person, even if he is much younger in age, the senior person should address him as Bo, Bhavan and all, which means, let's say a 20-year-old person is taken a diksha for doing a soma yajnam, and a 60-year-old person is coming to see him. The 60-year-old person should tell to the 20-year person, Bo, Bhavan and all. Oh, great man. Oh, Bhavan means almost Bhagavan. Basically that gives the importance of how the seniors should also encourage by 10. If you tell it, if a 60-year-old tells a 20-year-old Bo, Bhavan and all, so that it gives the importance of Yaga Diksha, so that people will feel more encouraged, So that is what Manu is telling. That is the exception, he says. Usually the other way around, only the senior comes, the junior should wake up and do all the namaskara and tell all the Kula Gotra. But if somebody is taken Yaga Diksha, that person, even if a senior person comes to visit, that person should address him as Bo, Bhava and everything. So that is the difference which Manu is bringing about. Number 129. Parapatni to Yastri, Shad Asambandha Chayonitaha, Tambruyat Bhavatit Evam, Subage Bhaginiti Cha. Parapatni to Yastri, Shyad asambandha chayonitaha tam bruyad bhavatit evam shubhage bhaginiti cha. So he says, when you are addressing the other woman, who is actually not even related to you. If it is related to you, you have a special name. You're going to call auntie or periyama, or there is special names, so and all, we'll have the names. He says, but somebody who is not your wife and not related to you, even for those people, you should address them as Shubhage, Bhagini, which means Shubhage means, oh, blessed girl, or Bhagini means sister. Even if she is not a born sister with you, he says, if you see the other ladies, Asambandha, which means Sambandha means related to you. Asambandha means not related to you. If you see another ladies who is not related to you, you should still address them as Shubhage or Bhagini. That is what Manu is telling, how to address the ladies. Sloka number 130. Matulamscha Pitruvyamscha Sashura Rutvijo Gurun Asavaham iti bruyat pratyuttaya yaviyasaha. Matulamscha Pitruvyamscha Swashuran Rutvijo Gurun Asavaham iti bruyat pratyuttaya yaviyasaha. So now it says, Matulamscha means your uncle, mother's brother. Matulan means mother's brother. Pitruvyamsha means father's brother. So we call mama or chitapa or peripa. He's saying when Matula, mother's brother comes or father's brother comes. Swashura means your father-in-law comes. Rutvijo, one who is a Ritvik, who is already taken a Yaga Diksha, or your own guru comes. This is when these are all people who are younger. For sometimes, what he is telling is, again, the exception for the younger rule. Sometimes you are elder than your uncle. Your uncle might be 40 years old, you might be 45 years old. Because your uncle might be born even later to your grandparents or something like that. That happens in some families. You can see the uncle is of smaller age than the nephew. And sometimes the chitapa is a smaller age than the nephew. And all those things. So when somebody of this, like you have a relative who comes to meet you, but you are senior to them, in those cases also, just say only your name and introduce yourself. You don't need to tell the full Abhivadaya. See, again, these are small nuances. Like sometimes when you come across these exceptions, when you are elder to your uncle, when you are elder to your own chitapa, or when you're elder to your own father-in-law or your Ritvik, then you can just tell your name alone and keep you don't need to tell the full Abhivadaya. Sloka number 131. Matruswasa Matulani Swashurata Pitrushvasa Sampujya Gurupatnivat Samastata Gurubaryaya. Matruswasa Matulani Swashurata Pitrushvasa Sampujya Gurupatnivat Samasta Gurubaryaya. He says, the one who is born with your mother, which is your mother's sister, Matula, same thing. One who is you are born, Matulani means Matulan is uncle. Matulani means uncle's wife. So people who are, this is related, your mother's sister or your mother's brother's wife. And Swashurata again means your father-in-law or mother-in-law. And same thing related, people who are related to your father, very close related to your father. Sampuja Gurupatni, but all of them should be given equal respect like Gurupatni. So which automatically means Gurupatni gets the highest respect. So if you have a guru and that guru is married, the Gurupatni gets the highest respect. Equal to the Gurupatni, you should give respect to all these people. So these are all going these days. People can't even know who their Chiti Chitapa is. And again, those people also don't reciprocate correctly. But how Manu is giving the importance of maintaining the relationships. If these people are there, you should treat them almost equivalent to a Guru Patni, like your own mother's sisters, your uncle's wife, your father-in-law, mother-in-law, your father's sisters. All these should be treated like equal to Guru Patni. Bradur Bharya Upasangrahya Sarvan Savarna Ahanapi Viproshya Tupa Sangrahya Nyati Sambandhi Yoshitaha. Bradur Bharya Upasangrahya Savarna Ahanapi Viproshya Tupa Sangrahya Nyati Sambandhi Yoshitaha. The last line, let's keep it up. Viprosha Tupa Sankrahya Nyati Sambandhi Yoshitaha. That actually has not very much meaning, but the first line, Bradur Bharyo Upasangrahya. Bradur means your brother, Brata, Jeshta Brata we call. Brata is brother, from Brata only brother came. Brata, Bradur Bharya means brother's, elder brother's wife. Bradur Bharya is elder brother's wife. Savarna means if she is married, if your brother is married within the same caste, like say the Brahmin is married to a Brahmin girl, or a Kshatriya is married to a Kshatriya girl. So that lady, this is only Lakshmana has done so far. I have realized nobody else does it. Upasangara, they should, the other junior person should actually do namaskara to them. Ahanapi, it seems, every day. So if you have an elder brother and the elder brother has a wife and she is within the same caste, to that lady, which is your manni or anni or your sister-in-law, you are supposed to do namaskara. Ahanapi means every day. So that is what Manu is telling. That is the importance of the elder brother's wife. We see that Lakshmana did to Sita every day. In fact, Lakshmana knows only Sita's the metti in her feet. Because when Rama says to Lakshmana, can you look at all the, because when Sita was being carried away by Ravana and in his chariot, and after Jatayu is dead, Sita keeps throwing all her jewels in the forest so that the people can identify the path what she takes. And when all the jewels are collected and given to Lakshmana, Rama says, Rama is so confused. He's very dazed that Sita is gone. He cannot even look at the jewels. He's telling to Lakshmana, Lakshmana, can you look at these jewels and tell, are these Sita's jewels? Lakshmana says, I can know the metti Anna because I do namaskara to Sita every day. I know how her metti looks. This is exactly the feet ring of, this is only Sita's. So that is the importance of doing the namaskara to the elder brother's wife who is married on the same Ahanapi. The other things are, he also adds for people who come from outside the city. For those people also, you can do namaskara when they come. For example, if you are, he says all the Nyati Sambandhi means all your father's sister or mother's sister. If they come out of town to your house, you should also immediately do namaskara for them. That's also he says. So these are all probably followed in the olden days. Nowadays, nobody follows them, but at least be aware that these slokas give you the value of doing namaskara, reciprocating the namaskara, and also how to maintain good relationships. So these are all there. All these social customs, are important. Sloka number 133. Pitur Bhaginya Matuscha Jayasyam Swasaryapi Matruvat Vritti Matishton Matruvat Vritti Matishten Mata Tabyo Gariyasi. Pitur Bhaginyam Matuscha Jayashyam Swasaryapi Matruvat Vritti Matishten Mata Tabyo Gariyasi. Again it says Pitur Bhaginya means father, sister, and Matush Jaya means your mother's elder sister. Matush Jaya, the elder sister. For all these, you should give equal respect to mother. In one of these slokas, he said, you should give equal respect to Guru Patni. Here he says, you should give equal respect to your mother, but Mata Tabyo Gariyasi. But Mata actually has more, Gariyasi means more weightier. Respect for mother should be much more than these people, but at least he's telling you should give respect equal to your mother. But then Manu adds one extra line. Mata Tabyo Gariyasi. Mata is definitely much weightier or more heavier than these people, but you should know how to respect these people equivalent to your mother also. So though he says there is a comparison, he says still mother is much weightier. If your mother, you should still give more respect than these people, indirectly is telling. Sloka number 134. Dashabdagyam Paurashakyam Panchabdagyam Kalabridam Trayabdapurvam Shrotriyanam Swalpena Api Swayonishu. Dashabdakyam Paurasakyam Panchabdakyam Kalabridam Trayabdapurvam Shrotriyanam Swalpeno Api Swayonishu. Now Manu is telling how to establish friendship. If you are in the same area, up to 10 years older than you, you can make friends with them. Let's say you are 35 years old and you are living in a community. Up to 10 years older, Dashabdagya means up to 10 years older than you. So you can have friendship up to people up to 45. If you are 35, don't try to have people with friendship with 55. That's what indirectly is telling. Doesn't mean it should not happen. But Manu is telling, because only then there will be some what we call the chemistry can work out with you guys. If he's 20 years, 30 years older than you, that chemistry may not work out. So Kalabrita means one who is an artist or one who is famous. For them, up to 5 years more than you, you can live, you can maintain friendship. So if you have somebody who is a good artist or some kind of like that, for those people up to 5 years elder than you, you can maintain friendship. So if somebody is an artist and 15 years older than you, indirectly Manu says that is not to be considered as a friend for you. The third group he says is Shrotriyanam Trayabda Purvam. Shrotriya means one who is well versed in the Vedas. Up to 3 years elder than you, you can consider as friend. And finally, Swayonishu Swalpeno, one who is born with your own family, even whatever small difference you can still have as friend. It doesn't mean, so he's telling there is no this 3-year rule, 5-year rule and all, whatever any difference you should maintain good relationship with them. So basically he's telling if you are Swayonishu means born within the same family or same group, you can have, there is no specific limitation. But for in the community, don't go beyond 10 years for friendship. With the artists, don't go beyond 5 years for friendship. And for people who are Shotriyas, don't go beyond 3 years for maintaining them as a friend. You can still have them as a guru. That's different. Sloka number 135. Brahmanam Dashavarsham tu Shatavarsham tu Bhumipam Pita Putra tau Vijaniyat Brahmanastu tayo pita. Brahmanam Dashavarsham tu Shatavarsham tu Bhumipam Pita Putro Vijaniyat Brahmanastu tayoho pita. So he says a Brahmana of 10 years age and a Kshatriya. Bhumipam means one who rules the Bhumi, which is a king, 100 years old. So if you have a Brahmana who is 10 years old and who have a king who rules the country who is about 100 years old, you should consider the Brahmana 10 years old as a father. And you can consider the Kshatriya as a son. Basically, between them, even a younger Brahmana is given more weight. That's kind of the indirect meaning. Pita, they are like, if they are like son and father, the son is actually the 100-year-old king and the 10-year-old Brahmana is actually the father. So he says, which is indirectly a well-read Brahmana is, even though he's smaller in age, he's higher than the king. And, we know in the olden days, Vashishta, everybody were living only in small huts, but all the Raghuvam Shakims, even they were much senior, or they would all go to them and worship them. So that is the importance of basically is telling even a smaller age Brahmana is greater than an older age king. Vittam Bandur Bhayak. Vittam, this is very important sloka. Vittam Bandur Bhayaha Karma Vidya Bhavati Panchami Etani Manyasthanani Gariyo Yadyat Uttaram. Vittam Bandur Bhayaha Karma Vidya Bhavati Panchami Etani Manyasthanani Gariyo Yad Uttaram. It says 5. Panchami means 5 things. Vittam means wealth, money. Bandur means relationship. Vayaha means age. Karma means actions. Actions means actually good actions, one who is doing a lot of anushtanas. Vidya means knowledge. 5 things are very important. Wealth, relationship, age, good actions, and knowledge. Of all these 5, the whatever he said later is great. So from wealth, So if you have something to compare people, more than wealth, relationship is important. More than relationship, age is important. More than age, one who is doing good anushtanas is important. And more than that, one who has good knowledge, that is important. So he says, these are 5 things to be noted. Yadyad uttaram, what is successively said is greater than the previously said one. So of the 5 criteria, you should list, all these 5 are important, but what is later, which is Vidya is greater than Karma, Karma is greater than age is greater than relationship is greater than wealth. He says, Panchanam Trishu Varneshu, and this is what you know, because people, when even Lord Yama tells in Kathopanishad, if you read Kathopanishad, Yama will tell to Nachiketa, only 2 things will come with you, karma and jnana. He says, whatever vidya you gained and whatever good or bad karmas you done, only these 2 will come along with you for your next birth. So you can see even Lord Yama gives only importance to those 2 things. Karma and jnana are the final things which are going to come with you for your next life or your future lives. So we can see how Manu also gives importance to both karma and vidya here. Panchanam Trishu Varneshu Bhuyamsi Gunavanti cha Yatra Sihu So Atra Mana Arhaha Shudropi Dashamim Gataha Panchanam Trishu Varneshu Bhuyamsi Gunavanti cha Yatra Sihu So Atra Mana Arhaha Shudro Api Dashamim Gataha. So what he says is, he puts 2 criteria for Shudras and for the people who are the Trishu Varneshu, which means the Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaisyas, who are called the Dvijas, and for Shudra. For Shudra, he says, Dashamim Gataka means one who is coming to his 10th decade of life, which means he's more than 90 years old. So the Dashamim, that term will come again. Dashamim means actually the 10th decade of life, which is more than 90 years old. For a Shudra, 90 years old, you should give automatically respect, it seems. You know, the age is given most important criteria. It doesn't give any other thing. But for the other 3 groups, let's say you are having a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, of all the 5, one who has all the 5 qualities is considered greater than one who has only a few of them. So somebody is having more wealth, is also related to you, is also older than you, is also doing good anushtanas, is also having good knowledge. One who has more and more of these qualities, the respect or the, you know, your consideration for them should be more and more. So basically the qualities put together, one who has the maximum qualities of all the 5 should given the higher respect, even if he is Kshatriya. So let's say you have a Kshatriya who has all the 5 good qualities and a Brahmana who is only one of them. He says the one who has more combined good quality, all of these 5, they should be given more respect. But for a Shudra, one who is in the 10th decade of life should be given a respect. Sloka number 138. Shakrino Dashamis Rogino Barinaha Striyaha Snatakasya cha Rajnyascha Panta Deyo Varasya cha Shakrino Dashamis Rogino Barinaha Striyaha Snatakasya cha Rajnyascha Panta Deyo Varasya cha. So it gives you 8 criteria for giving way. You know, we see in the movie sometimes 2 people will come on the same line. They will have a fight. Who should who should give way for the other person, you know. So he says for 8 of these people, you should give way, it seems. If they come across you, you should immediately give way for these 8 people. Who is this? Shakrino means one who is already in a chariot, is already coming in a car or bigger vehicle. You just give way for him first. Let him go. Dashami Stasi means anybody who is in the 9th decade. The Dashami means is going to be close to 100 years of life. Is more than is in the 9th the 10th decade. Sorry, is 10th decade means to be in the more than 90. They should be given way. Rogino means one who is sick. If you see a sick person, don't show your ego there. Just give the way for the sick person. Barinaha means there is Bharya is wife. Barina means one who carrying a weight. Somebody is carrying some heavy load and coming, give way for them. Striya, for ladies, give way. Snataka, very important. The one who is a Snataka means one who has completed his Vedic studies just before marriage is called a Snataka. So one who has completed Vedic studies and he has done the final, the Snana after the Vedic studies and is about to get, is still not married, that person is called a Snataka. Rajnya means king. And Varasya means a Kalyana Mapillai. Somebody who is getting married, that Mapillai should be given very respect. In fact, there is a sloka which comes in Kalyana. On the day of the marriage, the marriage boy is equal to Vishnu, it seems. So on the day of marriage, the marriage boy is equal to Vishnu. So basically, for all these 8 people, give way. One who is giving a chariot or a car, big vehicle, more than in the 10th decade of life, deceased person, one who is carrying a heavy load, for the females, for a Snataka, for a king, and one who is a bridegroom, that person you also give away. Then comes sloka number 139. Tesham tu samavetanam manyau snataka parthivau rajasnataka yoshchaiva snatako nripamana bak. Tesham tu samavetanam manyau snataka parthivau rajasnataka yoshchaiva snatako nripamana bak. Now he says, among all these 8 people, the highest importance should be given to Snataka and to the king. So if say, let's say if you see all 8 people together, you see somebody who is riding a chariot, one who is in the 10th decade of life, one who is a deceased person, one who is carrying a heavy load, a female, a Snataka, a king, and a Kalyana Mapillai. If you see all of these, the highest importance should be given to a Snataka and the king, it seems. Of the 8, the Snataka and the king get the highest respect. And if only the Snataka and king is there, the Snataka gets the highest respect. So it says, Raja Snataka Yoshcheva. Only if Raja and Snataka are there, the Snataka gets more, Snataka and Rupamana Bak gets the more importance. So the person who is well studied in the Vedas, that is the importance of Manu. Manu, if you come back and back, Manu is all about the Vedas. Anything, one who is studied Vedas, one who is doing Vedas, they should get the highest respect. So here, even between a Snataka and a Raja, the Snataka gets more importance. So next comes the sloka. This is next 4 slokas are very important slokas. Manu is giving some very strong definitions. Upanitu tayashishyam vedam adhyapayed dvijaha sakalpam saharhasyam chatamacharyam pratyakshate. Upanitu yashishyam vedam adhyapayed dvijaha sakalpam saharagasyam cha tam acharyam pratyakshate. So who is called an acharya? He will be defining who is called acharya, who is called upadhyaya, who is called a ritvik, who is called a guru. All these Manu will be slowly listing one by one. Here Manu is telling Upaniyat, one who does Upaniyam, the sacred that ceremony for you, Vedam Adhyapayat. He also is teaching the Veda, that person. Sakalpam sa rahasyam means not only he did Upanayana for you, not only is teaching the Vedas for you, but he is also teaching Kalpa Shastra, all the Vedangas. Kalpam, Siksha, Jyotisha, Nirukta, Chandas, all these are called as Vedangas. One who is teaching all the Kalpa Shastra, Rahasya means the Rahasya Shastras or the Upanishads. Upanishads contain the highest truth, they are called Rahasya. So one who is doing the Upanayana for you, one who is teaching the Vedas, along with the Kalpas, along with the Upanishads, that the person should be called Acharya. Tam Acharyam Pratyakshate. So basically, according to the another definition of Acharya is one who is following the rules, one who teaches the rules, and one who makes them follow the rules. There is 3 criteria. So you should be following the rules yourself of all the Shastras. You should be teaching about following the rules. Not only teaching, you make sure they do it also. So basically, one who does all 3 is an Acharya. That is another definition of Acharya. But according to Manu, the Acharya is one who is teaching you the Vedas along with the Kalpas, along with the detailed inner meaning of the Upanishads. Basically, he's teaching you the Brahma Vidya. If you come, there will be 10 slokas which will be coming back and forth like this. At one sloka, he will tell parents are great, but finally, he will come back and tell one who gives Brahma Vidya is the greatest. So for even, because even there's a sloka that's called Guru Gita. Guru Gita, like Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in the the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharata. It comes the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharata. The Krishna Arjuna Sammadam is called Bhagavad Gita. That is Vishnu is teaching Arjuna. There is another one called Guru Gita. Guru Gita comes in Skanda Purana. Like how Bhagavad Gita comes in the Bhishma Parva Mahabharata, Guru Gita comes in the Skanda Puranas. And Guru Gita is Lord Shiva is teaching Goddess Parvati. So in Guru Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, one is taught by Vishnu, one is taught by Shiva. These are very high, high cadre knowledge, scriptures. In the Guru Gita, Lord Shiva will say, Na Guru Radhikam, Na Guru Radhikam, Na Guru Radhikam. He will tell 4 times. There is nobody greater than the Guru, 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 he will tell. So Guru is one who gives the Brahma Vidya. That is the definition which Lord Shiva will give you there. But Manu gives a different definition of Guru here. But again, the Acharya is considered the highest. One who gives you the Brahma Vidya is called the Acharya Pratyakshate. Next sloka, Ekadesham tu Vedasya Vedan Angan Api Vapunaha Yo Adhyapayati Vrittam Upadhyaya Sauchyate. Ekadesham tu Vedasya Veda Angan Api Vapunaha Yo Adhyapayati Vrittam Upadhyaya Yo Adhyapayati Vrityartam Upadhyaya Sauchyate. So who is called a Upadhyaya means one who is teaching the Vedas and Veda Angas. So he is teaching again the Kalpa Shastra, the Shiksha Shastra, the Jyotisha, Nirukta, Chandras, Kalpas, all called Veda Angas. But he is teaching you for a small fees. And he is not teaching you the Upanishad, the highest truth. That person is called Vrityartham, means for a small fees he is teaching you. So Vrityartham means just for his own livelihood. So one who is teaching you Vedas and Vedangas, but without the Upanishads, for a small fees, that person is called Upadhyaya. Nishekadini karmani yakkaroti yata vidhi sambhavayati cha annena sa vipro guru ruchyate. Nishekadini karmani yakkaroti yata vidhi sambhavayati cha annena sa vipro guru ruchyate. So basically, Nishekadi means the first, the Garbhadana, the first marriage, Shanti Muhurta we call, the first night for the husband and the wife. It is also done only as a very sacred ceremony. One who does all the way from Nishekadi, all the karmas for a person and also provides food for him, Channena. That person is called Guru, according to Manu. So the person who does all the samskaras. So one who is teaching you knowledge, especially the knowledge of the Vedas and also the Upanishads, is called Acharya. One who is teaching you the knowledge of the Vedas and Vedangas for a small fees is called Upadhyaya. One who is doing all the samskaras for you, the Nisheka, all these are called samskaras. They purify the soul. One who is doing all the samskaras for you, that person is called a Guru. But according to the Guru Gita definition is, Gu is 2 terms, Gu plus Ru. Gukaras antakarosti, Rukaras teja uchyate. Mean that is the definition which Shiva gives. Gukara antakarosti means Gu represents darkness. Rukaras teja uchyate means Ru represents light. The one who removes darkness and gives you light is called a Guru. So that is the term of Guru. This is the exact definition what Shiva gives in the Guru Gita. So that's why the people use Acharya and Guru interchangeably. But really the term Acharya is more higher than the Guru. Even Mahapariva has a very detailed description in Devatin Kural, the difference between Acharya and Guru. The term Acharya, that's why we call Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, we call them only Acharya. We don't, though we call Shankara Guru and all, nobody calls, if you commonly address, how do we call? Shankaracharya only we call. We don't address Shankara Guru. So the term Acharya has got the highest weight. But according to Lord Shiva in Guru Gita, one who removes the ignorance from you and gives you light is called a guru. But according to Manu, the definition of guru is one who does all the samskaras for you and thereby purifies your soul. That is called a guru. So Acharya, Upadhyaya, Guru. Sloka number 143. I'm just giving you the definitions in according to other scriptures too, so that because this Acharya, Guru and all keep coming very often. Agnya Adeyam, Paka Yajna, Agnishtomadikan, Makan, Yak Karoti Brito Yasyacha, Tasya Ridvik Uchyate. Agnya Adeyam, Paka Yajnan, Agnishtomadikan Makan, Yak Karoti Brito Yasyasa, Tasya Ridvigho Uchyate. So this is the definition of a Ritvik. One who is going to do Agni Adeyam. So if you look at the samskaras, there are three type of yajnas. Havir yajnas, Paka yajnas, and Soma yajnas. There are 7 criteria, 7 plus 7 plus 7, 21. There are 7 Havir yajnas, 7 Paka yajnas, and 7 Soma yajnas. The Agni Adeyam comes under is the first homa for the Havir yajna. Paka yajna, he tells the term Paka yajna itself, which includes 7 yajnas. Agnishtoman comes under the Soma yajna category. So indirectly, Manu is telling one who is going to do Havir yajnas or Paka yajnas or Soma yajnas, that Makan, it is not Magan. Magan means great. Makan, we call Bhaskaraya Makan. There's a Makan, Dikshita. These are all people who take Diksha. Makan is different from Mahan. Mahan is great person. Makan is equal to Dikshita who has taken Yagna Diksha. For people who are doing this, Britto, for like you are supporting them, you are doing your money, you are funding them, and on your behalf, they are doing the Havir Yajna or the Paka Yajna or the Soma Yajna on your behalf. Those people are called Ritviks. We commonly use terms Ritviks because even when you go to Maharudram and all, they will call you Ritvik because somebody is doing the Maharudram and you are supporting them, going there, they are the Yajamanas. You go and support them and, they support you by providing the facility, everything for you. So you are called a Ritvik. So Ritvik means somebody who is doing all these yajnas for you for a little support is called a Ritvik. And then we'll go to sloka number 144. Avruton, Avrunot, Avrunot, Vidatam, Avrunotya Vitatam, Brahmana Shavana Ubau, Samata, Sapita Ngeyas, Tamna Druhyate Kadachana. Avrunotya Vitatam, Brahmana Shavana Ubau, Samata, Sapita Ngeyas, Tamna Druhyate Kadachana. So take this sloka number 144. It's saying, which Ramanujacharya will quote this sloka in his Sri Bhashya. Basically, it tells Avarnoti Vitatam Shravana Ubau. Shravana means represents your ears. 2 ears. One who is filling your 2 ears with the Vedas. Avarnot means is covering it up. Or both the ears, somebody is filling you with Vedic sounds or Vedic knowledge. That person, Mata, Sapita, is even greater than your mother and father, or he is equal to your mother and father. Na druhyet kadachana. For that person, don't even think of doing any droha, which means don't try to backstab him or cause problems for him. One who is filling your ears with all the Vedic words, that person is equal to your mother or father. Don't do any backstabbing. Na druhyet means drohi. Druhya means don't try to backstab him or try droha for him. That should not be done. So because I'm telling you this order, because when Ramanujacharya defines who is greater, mother, father and all, he says the Vedas are 1,000 times better than your mother and father. Though we say respect your mother, father, everything is important, Ramanuja specifically uses the term Sahastra Talam. It says 1,000 times greater than your mother and father. It says it has more mercy on you than your own father and mother. The Vedas has more mercy on you than your mother. It's 1,000 times more has more compassion for you than your mother and father. That's what Ramanuja says. And you can equal this term here. So I think I'll stop with this sloka 144 because we're already close to 5 o'clock. So, we try to cover 25 slokas. So we'll carry on from sloka number 145 from the next session. And since, Padmanabhan ji is not here, I thought I would spend because we usually go from 4 to 5:30 and he would do the last 30-40 minutes. So with this, I finished the Manusmriti part for today. By ending the importance of the learning to the Vedas, and one who teaches you the Vedas or fills your ears with the Vedas should be considered equal to your father and mother. So let me switch gears to Nyaya Shastra. And when I was doing this Nyaya Shastra, analysis, Padmanabhan ji is covering very well the Annambhatta's, Tarka Sangraha. But we really don't know the history of the Nyaya Shastra, like where did the Nyaya Shastra come from? And, there is 3 important periods of Nyaya Shastra, and all these are called darshanas. Remember the Kalpa, Siksha, Jyodisha, Nirukta, Chandas, all these are called the Vedangas. Whereas Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, Sankhya, Mimamsa and Vedanta are called Shad Darshanas. They are all interpretation of the Vedas. And the Vedangas support the performance of the Vedic activities. So the Shad Darshanas, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Mimamsa, Vedanta, of that, the Nyaya Shastra also is basically an interpretation of the Vedas only. So it comes from the Vedic times. And the founder of this Nyaya Shastra is Gautama Rishi. And this Gautama Rishi is equal in the literature, is considered to be the husband of Ahalya, who comes in Ramayana. If you remember, Ahalya's husband is Gautama Maharishi. But some people tell there are other rishis also who have the same name, Gautama. So it could be a different Gautama also. But more evidence is pointed to this. Gautama Maharishi is the founder of this Nyaya Shastra. So he is the one who interprets the Vedas in line with the Nyaya Shastra. So he composes the Nyaya Sutras, because all these have a sutra, have a bhashya, have a vartika, have a tika. Like for example, Vedanta means Badarayana. Sage Veda Vyasa wrote the Vedanta Sutras, the Brahma Sutras we call. And for the Brahma Sutras written by Veda Vyasa, Shankaracharya, Ramanuja all wrote Bhashya. We call Shankara Bhashya, Sri Bhashya. They all do the Bhashya. And after Shankaracharya, Vachaspati Mishra writes the Vartika for the Brahma Sutra. So basically there is a Sutrakara, there is a Bhashyakara, there is a Vartikakara. So even for same thing for Ramanujacharya, Sudarshana Suri writes the Vartika for his Sri Bhashya. So same way, for the Nyaya Shastra, somebody wrote the Nyaya Sutra, and then there is somebody who wrote the Bhashya, and then somebody wrote the Vartika. And after the Vartika and all, then it becomes more like for example, Viveka Chudamani. I'll give you example of Viveka Chudamani by Adi Shankara, or Panchadashi, which we are discussing with Sharda Madam, is another example. Panchadashi and Viveka Chudamani are examples of Prakarana Granthas, which means they are not directly taken from the, they are not directly interpretation of the Vedic Upanishads, but they are putting all the information in the Veda and the Upanishads in one part in Viveka Chudamani or Panchadashi. So it is a created Grantha, but it is created based on the interpretation of the Upanishads. So same thing in Nyaya Sutra too. Tarka Sangraha is not directly based from the Nyaya Sutras, but from all the literature gleaned from the Nyaya Sutra, they put it in one place for a small beginner. So Viveka Chudamani is equal to Upanishads only, but it is not directly interpreting the Upanishads. It just put all the Upanishad thought in one place. So Nyaya Sutra too, there is 3 important periods from Gautama Maharishi to Udayanacharya. That is one important phase. Udayanacharya to Gangesh Upadhyaya. That is another important phase. And Gangesh Upadhyaya, post Gangesh Upadhyaya, is the 3rd important phase. So there are 3, these are the landmark peoples, you can call them, For example, if you go to the Abrahamic religions, Adam will come first, and then there is several people. Then Noah is the next big person. After Noah, Abraham is the next person. And after several days of Abraham, King David will come. And after several days of King David, Jesus Christ will come. They also have their own genealogy. But the key persons, if you want to remember, you have to remember Adam, you have to remember Noah, you have to remember Abraham, you have to remember David. Those are the key. If you can't remember anybody in Christianity, if you remember these 4 people, you will remember the more important ones. Same thing, you can remember everybody in Raghu Vamsha. You can remember Surya, you can remember Ikshvaku, you can remember Raghu, Dasharatha, Rama. So something, like these are the key persons in the Raghu Vamsha. So same thing in the Nyaya Shastra, Gautama Maharishi comes, and from Gautama Maharishi, a lot of people, Vatsyayana writes the Bhashya, and after Vatsyayana, Udyodkara writes the Vartika, and then Vachaspati Mishra writes the Tika and the Vartika. So it comes up to Vachaspati Mishra, but then comes Udayanacharya. Udayanacharya lives around the 8th or 9th century. Some people say 10th century. Udayanacharya is very important. People don't realize the importance of Udayanacharya because he is the greatest logician to have ever lived. Logic, he was considered the greatest logician. And if you read Vaishnava Sampradaya, they give very importance to Udayanacharya because a lot of the logical principles with Udayanacharya established. Because Udayanacharya writes several books, but the 2 important books Udayanacharya writes is Atma Tattva Viveka and Nyaya Kusumanjali. Nyaya Kusumanjali and Atma Tattva Viveka. Why he writes these 2 books is Buddhism was flourishing in India. And Buddhism's 2 important concepts are there is no soul, there is no God. Buddhism teaches a lot of good things. It teaches how to be a very good person, very compassionate person. But the 2 basic rules of our Hindu religion, everybody has a soul and there is a Ishvara. They negate both. Nobody has a soul, there is no Ishvara. So to counteract that, he writes Atma Tattva Viveka means there is an Atma for everybody. Atma Tattva Viveka, and he explains how the Atma is there. And then he tells you the other thing is, he tells you about Nyaya Kusumanjali means by logic, Udayanacharya establishes the presence of God, not by meditation, not by studying the Vedas. By pure logic, he says why God exists. So Nyaya Kusumanjali, Atma Tattva Viveka were the big, and those 2 actually caused the demolition of Buddhism. Nobody knows that Udayanacharya played a major role in Buddhism going out of, though Buddhism came to existence only in India. Buddha was born in India. Mahavira was born in India. They were not born in China. But Buddhism doesn't exist in India now. It exists only in China, Japan, Korea, other places. And Udayanacharya, those 2 works, Udayanacharya's Atma Tattva Viveka, Nyaya Kusumanjali, played an important role in logically defending Hinduism against Buddhism, and that's how Buddhism came to fall in India. And also Kumarila Bhatta, Adi Shankara, they all contributed to. Other people also contributed. It was just not one-man show, but Udayanacharya was the single most important person because Buddhists had a very strong logic. To counter logic, you need another logician. So Buddhists were very strong logicians, so you needed Udayanacharya to compensate for that. And then from Udayanacharya's period, Udayanacharya not only established Nyaya Shastra in his peak, but he also developed, now if you think about Padmanabhan ji's lectures, Tarka Sangraha is based on Prameyas, not Pramanas. Prameya means all the objects. Pramana means the source of knowledge. For example, I read a Veda, I get knowledge. So Veda is a Pramana. But Lord Vishnu is an object indirectly. I know about Vishnu only from learning about the Vedas. So in that sense, I'm not telling for that matter Shiva, we know about Vishnu actually becomes an object. Veda becomes the knowledge. Vishnu becomes an object by which you are learning about the object from the Vedas. So Pramana is the source of knowledge. Prameya is actually the object. So when Padmanabhanji is talking about the gunas, all the action, the 7 categories. Sapta Padarthi is talking about the different 7 objects. The Prameyas, the Pramanas were important also because the measurement is important. How do you measure a subject? If you look at Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, if you read physics and all, people are always looking at the measured component. But then only Heisenberg came and told not only what you measure is important, how do you measure is also important. So the measure becomes an important Heisenberg's uncertainty principle in physics. So basically, how do you measure? Okay, I want to know how big this object is. So basically, Gangesh Upadhyaya turns the Nyaya from measured to how to measure. So he gives more importance to Pramanas. So from the Prameyas, the paradigm shifts to Pramanas from Gangesh Upadhyaya. So he becomes another important character. And from Gangesh Upadhyaya only, it is called Navya Nyaya. Navya means new. So the old one was called Prachina Nyaya, which means anything about Nyaya in before Gangesh Upadhyaya is called Prachina Nyaya, which means the old concepts of Nyaya. And Gangesh Upadhyaya from later on becomes Navya Nyaya, means the new concepts of Nyaya. And after Gangesh Upadhyaya, there is a Vasudeva Sarvabhauma, Raghunatha Shiromani, like lot of these stalwarts come, and each of them have a very interesting story. For example, Vasudeva Sarvabhauma is very closely in history with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the ISKCON is based on Hare Krishna movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in West Bengal, they were closely, Vasudeva Sarvabhauma was his disciple, but also a big logician. And I want to tell only about Gangesh Upadhyaya. Gangesh Upadhyaya is from West Bengal, and he was called Gangesha only. He was very, very ignorant person. In fact, he was living in his father-in-law's house. He was jobless. He was married, and he was living in a father-in-law's house. The father-in-law was providing all the food, everything for him. They used to make joke about him that he's good for nothing. He's useless. Gangesh Upadhyaya is basically all the people, even in the father-in-law's house, will make fun of him that he knows only to eat, he doesn't know anything. So what they will do is, in West Bengal is one of the states where they eat fish. Even Brahmins eat fish in West Bengal, and there is a long story behind that. So only West Bengal Brahmins eating fish is considered they're still Brahmins. But other people who eat fish, you not consider Brahmin. That's another story. But they used to give, when they eat fish, they will give him only the bone, it seems, because they said you are a waste, you can just eat the bones, you don't need to eat the real fish. So Gangesha gets very upset one day. So it seems he plays to goddess Kali. So remember Kalidas, if you remember the famous Sanskrit poet Kalidasa, he was also very, very dumb, very idiotic person. And there is a story how Kalidasa gets Kali's blessing and then becomes the greatest poet. Same way Gangesh Upadhyaya also does Kali. In fact, he goes to cremation ground. Somebody tells, go to the cremation ground and meditate on Kali. Kali will appear before you. And Kali appears before this Gangesha. And Kali teaches him the basics of logic. And then there is story where he goes to Varanasi. The story goes for Gangesh Upadhyaya. But Gangesha becomes the greatest logician. In fact, he changes the paradigm of Nyaya Shastra from Prameyas to Pramana. He becomes a radical shift from Prachina. So the greatness of goddess Kali. Goddess Kali, we know Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was a big devotee of goddess Kali, but Kalidasa, the greatest Sanskrit poet, became greatest Sanskrit poet because of Kali. And the greatest logician became the greatest logician because of Kali. So I want to just tell that factor there. Gangesh Upadhyaya, we see Kali as like a goddess who is like very fierce, but the greatest poet and the greatest logician came to country for India only for goddess Kali's blessing. And and Gangesh Upadhyaya then goes to Mithila. So Mithila is Bihar. So West Bengal to Bihar, because Mithila was the biggest center for Nyaya Shastra study. He's actually from Mithila, and he becomes established in Mithila after that itself. Once he becomes a great scholar, he goes to Bihar and he becomes the biggest professor of Nyaya Shastra. A lot of people learn from him. And then what happens is, after Gangesh Upadhyaya time, a few centuries later, Vasudeva Sarvabhauma comes. He's actually from West Bengal. He comes to Bihar, learns from the Mithila University, the Nyaya Shastra. So he takes it, and it seems in the olden days, they will not let you copy any book from Mithila, because they want Mithila to be the headquarters of Nyaya Shastra, which is the Bihar part. So those days, everybody had to write in a scripture book, all those palmyra leaves and other things. They will make sure nobody can copy or take any book from that. That way, Mithila can still retain its prestige of the highest. Vasudeva Sarvabhauma memorized the entire Palmyra script, it seems, of all the Nyaya Shastras. So he put it into his memory. So he went to West Bengal and he started his own school there. So basically, Mithila was still the headquarters, but after Vasudeva Sarvabhauma, then the West Bengal is called Nadiyad or Navadvipa. Navadvipa, if you read about it, Navadvipa is everywhere. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody comes from there, is very famous. So Navadvipa becomes the headquarters of Nyaya Shastra after Vasudeva Sarvabhauma. And then comes Raghunatha Shiromani and Gadadhara Bhattacharya. There is a lot of stories about Gadadhara Bhattacharya too. Mahapariva writes very elaborately about Gadadhara Bhattacharya in his Devatin Kural. Gadadari, Gadadara Bhatta writes Gadadari. So from Gangesha, Raghunath Shiromani writes the Diditi, and after Diditi, Gangesha writes the what's that? Gadadara writes the Gadadari. So there is Gangesha Upadhyay's book is called Tattva Chintamani. Chintamani means money is the Chintamani is the head, the ornament. So the greatest ornament for the Nyaya Shastra is Tattva Chintamani. That is the book of Gangesha Upadhyaya. For that, Raghunath Shiromani writes the commentary called Diditi. And for that sub-commentary is written by Gadadara Bhattacharya. It's called Gadadari. So the Gadadari is, and if you remember, even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was called Gadadara before he became Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. There was his old name, Gadadara. And then Gadadara becomes Ramakrishna Paramahamsa later in his later life. So that is basically the story of the Nyaya Shastra. It starts from Gautama Rishi, comes to Vatsyayana, Udyodkara, Vachaspati Mishra, then comes Udayanacharya, and then there's like Jayanta Bhatta. There are a few people between Udayana and Gangesha, but they were not big stalwarts. And then Gangesha Upadhyaya comes, and after Gangesha Upadhyaya, then Navyanaya comes, and the Navyanaya takes the dialect to a different level, and all these people, because when after the advent of Navyanaya, the way Madhvas, Ramanujas, and Shankara followers had to defend itself changed. Just because Gangesha Upadhyaya changed the way how Nyaya Shastra is approached, all the literature which came after that, even the people who have to counteract that had to change their way how to write the literature. So Gangesha Upadhyaya became like a person who even diverted, though he didn't contribute to Advaita himself much. The way how Advaitis, Vishishtadvaitis, and Dvaitis wrote their scriptures changed because of Gangesha Upadhyaya. So I just want to highlight the importance of these people, just to have a good history of the Nyaya Shastra and how it come to us. And then Tarka Sangarga, which is run with Anand Bhatta and all, they came very late after Gadadhara, and they were good scholars, but they were not like stalwarts like whom I was mentioning them. But the Tarka Sangarga, which Padmanabhan is written by Annam Bhatta, and there is another called Vishwanatha Panjanana, who all were same times. He also wrote Bhasha Paricheda and Nyaya Shastra. So there are a lot of these important books are there. And Nyaya Shastra is very important because we always talk about our sannyasis. Padavakya Pramana, we call Pada Shastra, Vakya Shastra, Pramana Shastra. Pada Shastra is Vyakarana, Vakya Shastra is Mimamsa, and Pramana Shastra is Nyaya. So you have to be a master of grammar, logic, and Mimamsa to become a great scholar even in Vedanta. So, so that is why the Nyaya Shastra is very important. The rules of logic are very important. And that is, I want to just give a brief history of the Nyaya Shastra today, and I will stop here. Mangalam Koshalendraya Mahaniya Gunapte Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhumaya Mangalam Shriya Kantaya Kalyan Nidayartinam Shri Venkatanivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam.
Namaskaram. That was very nice, Champuji. Shall we stop the recording? So if there are any Q&A, we can.
I think you can stop the recording now. Yeah.